Shaw Cipher. You officially tune in to On The Grind Live, brought to you by The Grind Report, where we support independent and unsigned artists and anybody grinding in any type of craft, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be an artist. You can be a producer, you can be a small business owner, you know what I mean? You can be whatever. I don't care if you do nails for a living, if you teach people how to, get better credit, whatever it is, as long as it's positive, as long as you grinding, as long as you trying to um, share your craft or your gift, and you want to talk about it, we want to talk about it on the grind live. But tonight we're gonna be talking to a dude definitely been doing his thing. We're gonna see where he's from, see what he's doing, see what he got going on, and we're gonna keep supporting and keep talking about the people that's on their grind, on the grind live. You already know what it is. Let's get it. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
what up? What up?
Listen, I got somebody on here. This dude's been on this grind for a minute. Shout out to the homie OG Dino. He pointed me pointed him my direction. I wanted to make sure I give a shout out to him, especially when you send somebody my way. I want people to know that there's other people's really supporting you. So OG Dino,
Right,
salute
right.
Chicago, holla at your boy. But we talking right now to the homie BaBBLEoN. You know what I mean? What's good, my G?
Yo,
How
yo,
you doing?
yo. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Shot. It's a pleasure to meet you. Shout
Right.
out OG, like for real, putting pieces together, and we just been on the grind. So I appreciate your service and let me be on here.
Right. Let me ask you this question, man. Like, let's take it back. Where are you from? And then what about where you from made you get into the music business? So that's kind of like two questions.
Okay, cool. Yeah, originally I was born outside of Milwaukee in Wisconsin, and then
Right.
quickly moved with my family to Minnesota, Minneapolis area. We were on the north suburbs. And what got me into the music there was just being like at the skate park, oftentimes up to no good,
Right.
just getting into the cipher, like
Right.
getting asked to be a part of the cipher. And at first, I was a skater, skeptic, out back. Ran into a friend that I hadn't seen in years at a gas station. He was buying some, at that time, he was buying White Owls. I was
Uh,
smoking Swishers, but he was buying White Owls. And then he was going to a cipher
right.
and he was like, "You should come." And I was like, "Dude, I barely rap. And then, so I went and they invited me in, and I was trash. I was terrible. That was
Right.
when I was like 17. Like, that's when I like really started trying to rap with people when I was like 17. So it was a
Right.
little bit later. And then just looking for things to do in Minneapolis, like Rhyme Sayers is there. They had like open mic, and that didn't really happen until a little bit later. But it was kind of like that series of events, like ciphers, to like they had something going in Minneapolis at that time. There was an underground buzz, Brother
Right.
Ali and like Slug and those guys, and so. Um, I was seeing people live it, like just working, living, rapping. Like rap was just like a part of life. So it was just something you did, not like we're gonna do. So
Right.
we
Right. Right.
so we've been rapping. It's so funny. People are like, I didn't know you still rap. It's like, man, you're weak. Like I never stopped
Listen.
rapping.
Well, yeah, that's you know what, I get that too, right? You know what I mean? That's how I became Shaw Cipher. You know what I mean? Rapping and doing my own music and stuff like that. I do this to support other brands and all kinds of different things that I do, right? To kind of widen my my
Right.
my expansion. But yeah, man, I still rap. You know what I mean? I still do.
Bet.
This is where it started. The why front on the on why on the how it started. Yo, so out in Minneapolis, if I'm saying it wrong, my fault. I'll be getting my words all messed up, but I
No,
just want
that's
to make
it. That's
sure.
it.
So, um, how is the scene out there today for independent artists?
So I'm not gonna front. I'd be guessing a little bit because I've been here for 4.5, almost 5 years now. So
Right,
I'm a little bit disconnected. And the homies that I got making beats, and
right,
even the homies doing like the underground scene podcast, like I know it's just been a little backseat with like work, and so I'm a little bit tapped out
right.
there.
It's all good.
But I know Rhyme Sayers, like that HQ, like
Right,
closes doors and stuff. So like things shifted. the clubs that I used to rap at off Cedar, I know like half of those is closed because of the
Right.
pandemic and stuff like
Pandemic.
that.
Yeah.
So, but I have a little vision, maybe like 5 years, trying to go back there with a couple people and like bring it back to life, maybe.
Listen, man, I know that it's always good, and it's a good idea to hit other cities and other major cities to really showcase your brand, especially when you're looking to kind of like bring back the scene to your city. But if you do have the opportunity to maybe get some partners together, people that you really trust, to really open up that scene again, right, in your city that you
Yeah.
currently in. I think as long as you keep it official, and as long as you know what I mean are really um on point, on what you're trying to do, and people see that you really trying to help them, it can turn into something dope. You just gotta do a lot of marketing behind it because of the city, right? But
Right,
I
right,
think you definitely had the ability. And then what I've been learning a lot of things about how to use other people's credit and using credit and getting money. You know what I'm saying? So you be able to do some things with some additional knowledge I think you can do in your city. You know what I mean? But
right,
let's
right.
talk about your music specifically. Like describe BaBBLEoN's music. If a brand new artist was to come, someone not even an artist, let's just say a fan of music says, BaBBLEoN, I heard you rap, and I don't know what type of music you do. What would you tell them? What type of music would you do? How would you describe your style?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to use kind of like storytelling hip hop. Like, really,
Right,
that's kind
right,
of like where I feel rooted in. Like,
right,
I use it as an extension of my art practice.
right,
So it is a way to tell my story and move my knowledge, my experience out into the world where
right,
it can be received. And
right.
so yeah, it's like hip hop, like yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's
But
dope. You know what I mean? It's dope because you really gotta, there's a lot of um I call them Matrix. Like when you watch the movie Matrix, you see a lot of duplicates of the same dude, right? You see a lot of
Mhm.
duplicates, but now if you try to be yourself, you're different. So you know what I mean? Like you being yourself is what's going to be the difference between somebody that's already out there not knowing. Not I don't know no other BaBBLEoNs. Tell you that right now. So that's dope for one, and two, like let's break down that name. Like break down where did BaBBLEoN come from? Like how did that? Because it's a brand. It's not just your
Yeah.
not
And
just your
it's
name.
crazy. It has like a big lineage. And then as a conceptual artist, I got to build on it. I was like
Mhm.
finding these little secret doors with it and my
Okay.
experience. And so it comes from the nickname Babs. My name's Aaron Becker.
Right.
I was called Becker through sports because it was on the back of my shirt. But then I got the nickname Babs through a couple snowboarding homies,
Right. Right. Right.
like filming and looking like a freaking fool probably, and then they called me baked ass Becker, which was
Okay.
Babs. And then just from that, talking, smoking, chilling like Babs, and I would just be talking, rapping. So then came BaBBLEoN,
Right.
and
Right. Right.
so it's BaBBLEoN and on and on. And then now, like as a conceptual artist, using spoken language as my tool, I rely on people's prejudgments and kind of ability to jump to conclusions, and
Right.
they think like Babylon, like the fallen city,
Right. Right. Right.
um, which I kind of play with in my lyrics, and I use that as like a tool to like show how like maybe systemic issues from Babylon way back then can just be transported into a new place, new time,
Right.
and yeah,
Right.
kind of like
Well,
that.
that's dope. You know what I mean? That you got a whole story. I like when you got a whole story behind your name. You know what I'm saying? Like especially when it starts from a nickname and it turns into something because it comes more personal to you. Now in the music business, it's your brand, right? It's just not your rap name. This is how people are going to see you going forward. How you if you decide to go the merchandise route, and you have to as an artist, it only
Right, right.
makes sense, right? But I mean, you do all kinds of different things to put you forward. I see some things in the background. Lyrical Lemonade. I see your skateboard back there. You bringing your originality right to this interview, which is intriguing because a lot of people don't do that, right? A lot of people, some people don't, they kind of hide. I don't want you to see my background now. I want to see you, right? I want to see who you
Yeah.
are. People buy into the story. So talk about the lyrical lemonade that you got back there, and then
Yeah.
yeah, talk about that right quick.
Yeah, so I got the Lyrical Lemonade shoebox. I got the Uprise skateboard that was like gifted me from the homie Jesse Newhouse. And
Right,
then these
right,
are some
right.
of like my hope stones that I create. The artwork, Anthony Reamer had to like shout out the homies. That's all part
Right,
of the
right,
story. And then like obviously, me being a cheddar head, and it's like
right,
I'm kind of a hype beast, try not to, but it's like I love Nikes, obviously in Chicago,
right,
Lyrical Lemonade as a young artist. Shout
right.
out Cole Bennett, who like I was lucky enough to get these. I might as well plus one up. I was lucky enough to get these, being a part of the.
Oh, y'all, if y'all shoe heads, cause I know y'all tuning in, y'all shoe heads, y'all already know what it is. You know what I
They're
mean?
pretty sick.
That's
I'm not
dope.
gonna lie, like
Yeah,
really clean,
yeah,
simple.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
so sick. Being part of the Nike School Chicago, and the first semester, I was lucky enough, worked hard enough, had a great partner, Carlos,
Right.
and we made it into the capstone project. And then
Oh,
they just surprised us with them. So they gifted us those. Got lucky as hell.
yeah, man. Yo, for all y'all shoe heads out there, stop fronting like that. That was sick. Like I haven't seen those. You know what I mean. I like Air Forces. I like Nikes. You know what I mean. I'm into different type of shoes, but I can't lie and say like I'm a shoe head like that. But I know a lot of shoe heads, right? My wife is a
Right.
shoe head. Like I live with one. You know what I'm saying? So she
That's
was to
what's
see
up.
that. She was like, "Oh, go get me that right now." Like she would make me go find that. You know what I mean? So
Hell
um
yeah.
talk to me about producers. Like, what kind of producers do you work with? Do you produce on your own? Like, I know a lot of artists produce their own music nowadays. Especially after the pandemic, you learn a whole bunch of skills. You know what I mean? So, talk to me about like any producers you currently working with. Do you produce all that good stuff?
Yeah, cool. So like, yeah, Bowser Beats in Minnesota is kind of like the connection that really kind of got me rapping and kept rapping.
Right.
He's the homie, and then from Chicago, G Branya.
Okay.
He's dope. Alyssa, shout out G Branya. He like we just connected online, and it's hard to trust people, and
Right.
it's
Right.
real tricky. And we ended up like getting a good working relationship, buying rights to the beats online early. Like that was probably like almost 4 years ago now, pretty much right when I
Right.
moved, at least 3.5. But and then Law Beats at Complex 2010. I was super lucky to get connected with him. Um, I was trying to record for about 2 years and it didn't really work out. It didn't feel good, and I ended up getting like a baby butt dial. I called it back. My homie who actually did the Wiseman podcast in Minneapolis, which is an underground podcast,
Right.
he picks up the phone and we're just chatting. So shout out Joe Fabian and the Wiseman because he then linked me up. He sent me like Reef Reyes' number, and
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, the homie I know wasn't doing that, but like here's this guy, Law. Like tell him I sent you." So and then I ended up getting back, reaching out. I heard back like a week later, and then like we ended up linking. So I was like, oh, "It's a crazy thing that just serendipitous fell in place."
Yeah.
I've been recording with Law now for about a little over 2 years. And then now Law was exclusively kind of just recording and engineering and mixing and mastering my stuff,
Right.
from G Branya, from Bowser. And now me and Law have kind of like made a duo, Law of BaBBLEoN.
Right.
And
That's
we
dope.
started, yeah, so we got about 10 pretty fire tracks. And we're kind of just sitting on, because I don't know if you know Complex 2010 at all. Shout out KX and Merc and those guys.
I heard
And
of them. Yeah. Yeah. I heard.
yeah, the doors got shut on them from their buildings. So
Yeah.
they are like looking for places. Law ended up getting a full-time gig because he was making a living off his engineering and stuff at the studio. So
Right.
so we're just in a transition period, but really like Law Beats. I know there could be engineers and producers that like could fit more of this like other part of my style better, but
Right.
Law like pushes me in this like really dope way. Um, sonically that I really enjoy, and like it's a challenge a little bit. It's
Right.
not like super easy, but like it fits really dope. Like he's even got me on like a drill beat that like really works, and it like sounds really
That's because he
dope with
knows
my
you.
right. He does. Like
Mm,
we built that relationship, and
right,
now he
right,
knows like the little
right.
intricacies of my stuff, and
Right, because
so
he can mold it to what you're trying to do by while still challenging you to do something different. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So it's always good to check out the producers. They might introduce you to a sound or a different way of hearing it, and then maybe use law to tweak it once you get exclusive rights to the beat, right? Once it's yours, you can do whatever you want to it, right?
right.
So, depending on how, the contract you sign, things like that. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, I like having my own in-house person, right? That really knows me to really be able to um challenge me, because now you can create a sound. Like when you create a sound that only that person can provide, then they're gonna start coming to loft to try to get something similar. And then they notice that it's yours, and they're like, okay, I'm you know me, I wanna fuck with BaBBLEoN. I want to do this with BaBBLEoN. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
become some. So I would keep pushing that. You know what I mean? If you do have the opportunities, if you run into other beats and other producers that kind of catch your ear, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say don't shy away from it, because it might introduce you to something that you probably didn't think you can do. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
at the same time, Law already knows what's good. Law of BaBBLEoN, I want to hear that. So when you ready to, yeah, I want to hear that definitely.
Hell yeah.
So when you got, when that dropping, definitely push that my direction.
No
Um,
doubt, no doubt.
so we got this song that we're gonna be playing a little bit later called Holy Death. Talk to me about did Law produce that, or did somebody else produce it, and like break down the concept behind that song.
Yeah, so that is a G Bronya beat that I
Okay.
got from him. Law mixed it, recorded me, and kind of
Okay.
like mastered it in his programs. And yeah, that song. So I'm excited about this song for a couple reasons. Just kind of philosophically, the way that
Right.
it like tells my story and like kind of my struggles, and the way that I like to the way that I wordplay and use
Right.
metaphor and syllables, like this one is kind of captured in there, and it's really like it's like visceral, and the beat kind of gets you,
Right.
and then
Right.
just like the tonality of my delivery, and it's just kind
Right.
of I'm just rapping, so it feels good, and then yeah, it's a little bit it's a little bit out there as far as like BaBBLEoN and my characteristics. It's really pushing like these really kind of like I don't even know how to describe it, but just
Yeah.
deep rooted like parts of like my experience that are like turmoil and despair and like
Right.
like victory and privilege, and like seeing where we land in the midst of all that, and
Right. Right.
building up our own awareness. And yeah, so I mean it's a little trippy. It's I just turned 33, and it's called Holy Death, and so
Okay.
I'm just like playing with it, I'm putting it out there. I'm kind of leading with my spirituality, and just kind of like pushing the boundaries of how I like to talk about things,
Yeah. Well,
so
happy belated birthday. You just turning 33. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
thank you.
Um, yeah, I listened to the song. We got the song playing on our radio station, Power 107.6
Yeah,
Detroit.
dope, respect, thank you.
You know what I mean? And it's we just released the spins report, so definitely check out how many times that song played. I'll probably check that out while I'm on here with you, just so people know, like, yo, we really spinning, really letting people know that we supporting these artists. But yeah, I heard the song, and I definitely heard the lyrical uh the lyrical play in that song. I really definitely heard what you was saying, you know what I'm saying, in that
Yeah,
song. But I want the people to hear it. So we're gonna play it a little later.
cool.
So they can, what I mean, really understand what you got going on with that song. You know what I mean? Um one question like we like to ask, right? I'm trying to see where it's Holy Death. I can't really see on this small ass screen. Um
Yeah, it's hard to
yeah,
see that list. I'm not gonna lie, I
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
was keeping
yeah.
the list once I saw.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I gotta go check it out.
Alright.
But yeah, um, one question like we always like to ask is because we we call On The Grind Live. Our main business is called The Grind Report. Matter of fact, he's going to be in the 84th issue of The Grind Report in January. If you didn't know, now you know. So we gonna be sending questions to you to make sure we get you in that. That drops the end of January. Official
Dope, dope.
magazine. We'll send a hard copy to you so you can let people see you in the official magazine. But let us know, like right now, what do you feel like, or what do you feel like your definition of grind is right now, today?
Grind is like connectivity. So
Right,
for me, grind is like actually connected to the momentum, to even like the friction
right,
of the grind. Like,
right, right, right,
my feet are on that ground.
right,
I'm making my art, and I'm really trying to just write
right.
smart right now. Write as smart as I can. Say as little as I need to say in the best, most efficient way. So I'm not grinding in the way where I'm like writing all the time because our law's working. But
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we're
yeah,
like
yeah,
organizing. We got the merch, the BaBBLEoN.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're connecting with that community. So like whatever
Right,
it takes, reaching out
right.
to people and just trying to push our philosophy, which I think is very positive vibrations, out into
Yeah.
the world and just really push that.
Just for y'all to let you know, last week we played Holy Death 40 times. You know what I
Oh,
mean? On Power 107.6
hey,
through 40 times. You know what I'm saying?
that's the
So,
first for me. So
you know
I'm
what I
pretty
mean?
sure that's the first my
Um,
music's been on there. So
and if you know, once y'all hit a song, if you fuck with it, go on Power 107.6 The Truth, spelled all the right way, Power 107 point sorry, Power
yes, yeah,
107.6 The Truth.com, and you can request the song, right? So if your fans are out there, you know what I mean, go request the song. You'll see it, BaBBLEoN, Holy Death, and it'll play, you know what I mean, in a rotation that it's in, you know what I'm saying? So that's in addition to the normal spins that we put on top of it. So, you know what I
dope.
mean, supporting. Um, First of all, that's dope. You know what I mean? I like that whole definition of grind and why we do it. Let me ask you this. Out of all the times you've been doing this music business, in and out, or depending on what the situation is, what would you feel like is the biggest lesson you've learned so far?
Oh man, so many lessons. Like wow, like so like, but to be true, to be truthful with you, the biggest one is like really trusting my character BaBBLEoN,
Right,
as like a transparent mask.
right,
Because once I trusted the character I was building for myself as an MC, I became more powerful. And
okay,
all my insecurities from Aaron Becker in my existence kind of they just slayed away over there. They just kind of broke down, slaked down the bottom of that water bucket. And then BaBBLEoN just kind of is that mask. So
right, right, right,
like trust yourself, trust the process. If you don't feel like you got the mask yet, you probably don't. It took
right,
me, I've been rapping 12 years, so
right,
it's
right,
taken me a couple. I used to go as MCAB, so like I had the name
right, right.
change
Multiple
and like
names. Yeah, yeah. You gotta find who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like I've
yeah,
had multiple names. You know what I mean? Multiple names myself before I became Cipher. You know what I mean? I've been doing it for a very long time myself. So I can definitely understand. So yeah, man, like you don't let nobody tell you you can't do what you want to do. You know what I mean? You're gonna definitely have your insecurities. You're gonna be looking like, man, can I really do this? You know what I'm
right,
saying? Is this
right,
something I really want to get into? Is this me? You know what I mean? Or
right.
what are people gonna think? And that's when you start, you know what I mean, really doubting yourself and you start caring about what other people think. You know what I mean? Like,
Preach, yeah, you're preaching. You
right,
know
right,
it.
right. I say this: get your engineers thought about your music, get your producers thought because all they're gonna do is make it better, right? You
Right.
should do this, you know what I mean? Do that, you know what I mean? If somebody that your homies that really like listen to your music and let you know, nah, this ain't it. That's the one, you know what I mean? If you respect that person's opinion, you know what I mean, that much,
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I
that's
finally
when
found, like in
right, right,
Chicago, that I wasn't getting, and it was the
right,
difference
right.
maker. So
Yeah, definitely. In this music business, you navigate around a lot of a lot of BS before you get to the people that's really supposed to help you. You know what I'm saying? Like all the scammers is
You
like
know it.
scamming.
Yeah, we could do a whole
You know
segment
what I
on that.
mean? Like all the
Oh
scammers
my.
is up front and center, right? And by the
Oh,
time
dude.
you
Yeah.
get to somebody that's really about their shit, you skeptical. Like, nah, I don't
I
know.
know, and then it's like, fuck.
Right, right. It's like, once you go through about like 10, 20 people. Once you get to like number 21, it's like, yo, are you for real? Like, I didn't even know you existed. People have been scamming or I've been installing within the process, man. Like you learn, the more you get kind of hurt, the more guarded you are, the more stuff you learn and stuff like that. But yeah, man, you
Yeah.
once you navigate through all that and find the right people, those people will direct you to some other right people. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So, you know what I mean? Like I said earlier, shout out to OG Dino. He definitely been grinding, been doing his thing for a long time. So stay with him because he'll point you in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So definitely. Um, yeah, some other things that, what would you say to an artist in your city right now looking to become an artist? Hasn't really became that artist. They kind of thinking about it. Kind of like how you was, you know what I mean, back in the day, we're like, yo, you should rap. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what would you say if they came to you and said, BaBBLEoN, what's the first advice you think what's the first thing you think I should do trying to pursue this business?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely got to sit with yourself. Like, you have to have moments where you feel the urge to like rap and do the thing. Like, when people say that, it has to like, I always say, well, can you imagine yourself doing what that is? And
Yeah.
so for me, it's like, excuse me, sorry, I'm belching.
All good, all
You
good.
know, it's looking for the open mics, it's looking for the shows, it's looking for the chances to show the art. So you have to be willing to do that legwork, and then like produce the thing that's in that space. So with like
Right,
music, you gotta like the process of like coordinating with producers or,
right,
or
right, right,
sitting for hours when you're like happy or sad or whatever looking for music,
right,
or someone like me who relies on a lot of producers. Then it's like, okay, I've taken piano classes, and then so like eventually when I was getting more with it, trying to figure out sonically, musically, I was like, so I got the keyboard, then I got the
right.
I actually went like the 808. I went a little old school, and then I make like clay instruments, maracas
Right.
and little things. So that's the crazy thing too, is when I start like getting my sound in there, like we've done it with Law, like, this type of noise and snaps where he can then just fit it in where you almost don't even notice the difference. So
Right, right,
you just
right,
got to keep working and like actually put your hands to the tools, your feet to the ground, and
right.
the pen to the paper, and just get to it. Really, like, get
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. I
it.
say one thing. I tell people, yo, it's your passion when you still do it when you don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like today, it's just not a day for me. Everything is going wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe I'm feeling down. Things are depressed, but you still getting to it. That's the consistency of it, right? That's the dedication. Like even when you're not motivated, stay consistent. Jim Jones, I heard him say that. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's real talk. Like if you still
Yeah.
doing it when you don't feel like doing it, I ain't talking about like a job, right? Like a job that you gotta pay the bills. I'm talking about your passion. You know what I mean? Like just today might not just be your day. You like, I'm tired, I'm not feeling good, but I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get to it.
Yeah.
That's when that's for you. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know what I
So,
mean?
G-Shell, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, yeah. What's up?
So what does On The Grind mean to you?
Well, it's a multiple aspects of things. It's your dedication. You know what I'm saying? It's the ability to understand that it's going to be hard, um, before it gets better. It's going to go worse before it gets to it's going to be bad before it gets better. You know what I'm saying? Um, my whole thing about grind is that the consistency of it. You know what I mean? Like we
Mm-hmm.
created me and my business partner Tampa Mystic. We created the Grind Report, the whole business behind it, where um we know that grind is something that you're going to have to do regardless of what it is you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were just a 9 to 5 person, all you do is you get up, you take care of your family. You got to grind and make sure that bills is paid. You got to grind and make sure your kids and everybody straight, your family straight, regardless of the situation. If you know what I mean, if you want to be in sports, you got to grind. I'm gonna be the first one up, the last one out. You know what I mean? Like your work ethic, you know, how hard are you working? If somebody out there working harder than you and you know it, that means this is not what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? If I look at somebody and say, damn, he working harder than me, that's a problem for me. Not because, you know what I mean, that person's doing what they supposed to do, but that's an issue within me. Like, yo, this dude is working harder than me. Word. And I can acknowledge that, then I ain't really grinding. I'm just talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's in everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? So take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't grind. Make sure you take care of yourself, your health, and all that. But even that is still a grind. You got to grind to keep your health right. You know what I'm saying? You got to grind to make sure things go the right way. And when they don't go the right way, find ways to make sure that you grab the positivity out of that. And what did you learn? I don't lose. I learn lessons. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I didn't get the win. I ain't feel like I lost neither, because now I know what not to do next time. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the thought process behind it. And that, you know, I can get a lot deeper to that, but that's what the grind is for me. You know what I mean? So it's going hard regardless of the situation. So let's play this track right quick. Holy Death. You know what I'm saying? Who's the producer on this again? Who's the producer?
G Brown, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play this.
Shout out
Rock
G
out
Brown,
with us. You know what I'm saying? We got this again. Power 107.6 The Truth. We played this 40 times. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure my shit right.
Yeah, I got a music video I'm gonna send you for this too. I just got the final version. This shit is fire, yo.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta make sure. Definitely gotta make sure that you send me any track that you got going on. I want to definitely hear that, and make sure people understand what we got. You know what you got going on a daily basis. Let me just make sure my shit is all.
I got a solid like 3-year plan. I got like 30 good tracks I'm lining up, trying to figure out a good. Trying to get some funding, to tell you the truth. So anybody out there trying to fund a dope artist in Chicago, let's go.
Yo, you know the funding, you know it is dope. That's why I was talking about using other people's money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, You know what I mean? Like if you learn how to do that, it'll be official. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about really understanding the credit game, and then being able to really make yourself an investment, and you won't even need. You become your own investor. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
Let's get it. Let's see if this thing plays for me. All right, quick.
Okay. BaBBLEoN. Rania. Mixed Master Law. Complex. BaBBLEoN. Hey. What does that mean? Hey. Rania. BaBBLEoN. This is BaBBLEoN and on, and this that alpha to the end. It's that indie go big beacon of light. What will you become with all your missteps in his life? In his light, what becomes when reflection burning bright? Oh yeah, right, in one night, you repent and make it right. Not tonight, it ain't fair for a well. Inhale, sacrifices, stranger life, class warfare through sickness and hell. Talking capital games. That blicky goes flat with their brains. Worshipping their doctors, well, calling me insane. Therapeutic, all these therapies, narcs getting chained. Blockchain, never chain, I'm breaking blades, I need a flame. Miscalculating currently, the currency needs surgery. To tell my enemies, witnessing the perjury, they lying to our faces. Now it's up to us to feed the streets. Vision infrared of T. Psychological warfare, right to the edge, they pushing me. Words facing death will shine the light. Breathing breath into your journey, bringing vision to the night. It's coming that I told my brother, age of 25. I'll miss you with the reefer, but you need some fungi. Gather with your closest friends and split a tray 5. Cause we ain't nothing but dust. I'm talking ashes to ashes. Come and go like she blushed. Stardust, I'm in love. And this is more than just lust. Good brain about to bust. I'm turning life into crust. A center soul is a must. Heart full of pressure. Lobby in your center. Making steam. Mountains about to erupt. I don't want to cuss. Don't want to cancel a curse. Do you ever think about the spells that hiding in your words? We adding fire to flame. Turn up the gas in the kiln. You a digital transfer. I'm authentic and still. You ain't got the screenshot. Chain going crazy off the top. Juice swirl away. And I am more than enough. In arena, the sound logic make me mentally tough. All the center in my soul is really making me buff.
I don't think y'all understand what's going on right now. Shout out.
Yes.
Is that out on all platforms though?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Holy Death, BaBBLEoN. You see how it's spelled right there. Make sure y'all go check that out. Again, Power 107.6 The Truth. Go request that song on there. Download the mobile app. Listen to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, thank you.
Dude's been doing some things for a very long time. Shout out to everybody tuning in. And I see y'all watching. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And the audio of this is going to be on our iHeart, our Spotify, and all that. So if you missed it, we want to make sure the links go out for that as well. Yo, tell everybody where they can get you on social media, my G.
Yeah, so right now I'm kind of been on the Instagram, and it's BaBBLEoN World Tour. I'm about to pop up and do more of the TikTok, back on Twitter, BaBBLEoN World Tour. On the socials, it's BaBBLEoN World Tour. And then any streaming is just BaBBLEoN. Don't tell me why I'm a little bit camouflaged. I'm intentionally hard to find. I'm like that great house song I like to think from back in the day. You gotta like meet me to get my shit, you know, like
Nah, you got a dope vibe. You know what I'm saying? You like I say, you bringing you to the table regardless of where you are, and that's what people want to see when they buy into a new artist. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm buying into an authentic person. So definitely keep it authentic. Any shout outs that you want to give? Anything else you want to let the people know?
Well, shout out Cipher, dude. Shout out Grynd. Like, I appreciate you guys for real. Shout out Chicago, OG, Complex. I swear, like me and KX are gonna get to it. Me and Law been, to it. Yeah, and then like Lil Street, that's what got me here on an art residency. Shout out all the artists out there, like doing it, like just doing their thing.
Right.
And then Red Apple Visuals, who got the Holy Death music video coming out. It'll drop this Friday. I'm gonna have a BaBBLEoN website, and that'll be dropping this weekend. And yeah, so I'm gonna be having the merch online, and just reach out. BaBBLEoN World Tour IG. That's probably the best way. I'm always on there.
That's what it is. Yeah, you know what I mean? Again, I appreciate everybody out here tuning in to us, you know what I'm saying, and doing what they do on a daily basis. Shout out to you, you know what I mean? Keep grinding, keep doing what you do, you know what I mean? Keep adding with the music. I want to hear, you know what I mean, Lord BaBBLEoN. When it come out, just say, yo, just hit me on Instagram. Yo, I got that Lord BaBBLEoN. Just point me to it. You know what I'm saying? And then make sure y'all go on, Spotify or any of your digital platforms that you go to and support this man's music. You know what I mean? You got any other songs on there too? Or it's just this until we ready for the
No, I dropped 3 albums this year. So I got 3 full projects on there. The Hope Stone, one of them is kind of an EP. It is From the Gray, and then I have 1+1, which is the Hope Stone 2, essentially. And then right now I'm sitting on an EP I'm about to drop at the beginning of the new year, and that will be called Gray Matter, and Holy Death is on that little project. And that's still getting moved around. That's the thing. Like I'm asking questions, I'm taking advice, I'm trying to figure out the best way to introduce myself to a greater audience. And shout out KRS-One, because like without that man, I swear he inspired me more than any MC. Be yourself. Yes. And tell another young buck come and sip from the cup. Tell him I'm ready.
Okay. Definitely. I hope you get the chance, if you haven't already. I hope you get a chance to meet him. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely dope in person. You know what I'm saying? Just as much as he is, you know what I mean, in the video, on TV, wherever you see him, you know what I mean? So, yeah. All right, yo, I appreciate you tuning in, you know what I mean? And we got to get you back on here in the future. And find out what's going on. You know what I mean? All right, yo. So I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know what it is. Shaw Cipher, BaBBLEoN. You already know what it is. Hit me up. You're trying to get on the Grynd Report or On The Grynd Live. You know how to get to me. On The Grynd at Instagram, Shaw Cipher Instagram, The Grynd Report Instagram, or hit Tampa Mystic, hit OG Dino. You can hit a whole bunch of, you know what I mean, you can hit us directly. But whoever you came through, make sure you hit them that way. You know what I mean? We keep it official and professional like we do consistently. You already know what it is, Shaw Cipher. Let's get it.